Okay, so this is going to be a rant video, kind of. But
half soapbox, half story time.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to...
Don't skewer me.
Or me.
Bullet tip.
We're just going to kind of film this throughout the day, we think. We're going to be here for a few hours, just kind of poking around and having fun and getting away from town for a while. But the point of this video is we grew up out here and therefore enjoyed a lot of...
We are superior to you.
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah. We enjoyed a lot of growing up traditions, if you will, that would match more the generations before us. So we're going to kind of compare our childhood to the childhoods that we see other people having had or engaging in. I had a train of thought and I forgot it.
Okay then.
Oh, number one, no internet. Does it look like we had internet growing up? No.
In fact, we barely had cell service. You had to stand in the corner of our trailer.
Turned at a certain angle.
Turn this way. Facing directly into the corner. Let's do it inside out. Right. No, because you were in this corner turning this way. It was not when the trailer was parked here. The trailer was parked there and there. It was never parked. Actually, yeah, it was. Yeah, before we did. But then the office trailer was parked here.
And you had to stand a certain direction to otherwise
To get cell service. And that was with a booster. Literally into
I can get this.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Hang on. Are you stable? Sort of.
Oh!
I want to mess up my new sock.
In case you haven't noticed, this is our childhood.
And we're still children.
Oh my word.
Well, duh, it's ice, or was 2 hours ago. Oh my goodness.
Maybe that was against my better judgment.
Maybe. Okay, we need to clean that off and get you some sort of...
Holy moly!
Don't you have a suction?
This is not coming out.
We have a shovel in the truck, right?
We do have a shovel up there.
Gooey, it's beautiful. It's the most wonderful thing in the world for
Especially
making
forts.
mud pies.
Forts.
And yeah, and just chinking in.
Mortar.
Maybe I shouldn't have worn my good jeans.
Probably not. This is how muddy I got. This is a very... I was so skilled. Of course, you people tried to get stuck.
Yeah. Well, that's because we had
It's half
fun.
the fun.
I know it's fun, and I tried to get stuck a little bit, but then I saw Cassie in that dire strait, so I decided against it.
Fun. You want to get in dire strait.
Oh, that's cold. Oh my Lord.
See? How was I supposed to get out with that?
I'm the camera gal.
Hi! Wow, that was awfully close to my head.
Okay. Rabbit. Or rabbits.
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeesh, people, does that look like two?
Cassie and I worked on this one together.
Carry the rocks uphill.
Because you had already taken all the rocks.
Yeah.
Fingers keepers.
Caleb's fort is really nice. But we saw a snake there too. So, alright. Caleb's fort. Very nice. He used this big rock, which is not fair. But now it's a rat's nest. What? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But that one has like
This was cool because it was a complete circle.
Seriously. He only had to change that.
yeah.
There's the shovel I was on my way to get.
Enough to dig out this time. Last time we were here it was frozen solid.
Yeah. That thorn bush needs to get out.
This was my staging
I
spot.
want to kill a rabbit. Where are the rabbits?
Yo, folks. Obsidian.
Ah,
Oh!
why?
And it's an arrowhead.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
That's not
This is
obsidian,
broken
right?
off.
That's
Yeah, it
true.
is.
It's
I guess it is.
It's rough obsidian.
pure.
Yeah.
It's not pure.
So it's chipped, but that's an arrowhead.
Cool.
This is broken off, and this is broken off.
That's almost a complete. That's so
That's the best one I've found
That's
out here.
I found an obsidian arrowhead out hunting.
Excuse me while I spend about a month here. That's no fair. I've only found like one piece of obsidian out here because I follow, I don't lead.
You are the meanest human being on earth.
It's so sad. It's depressing.
Or
Depressing.
I found it.
Oh yeah,
It is. That's big.
that's huge.
ah.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool. That is chert.
Yeah, it is.
That's no fair.
It's too big to put in your mouth.
Hey, I'll trade.
All right, guys. So now that you've kind of seen a little bit of the type of stuff we used to do and gotten a little bit of a tour, we didn't take you near everywhere on this place. There's so much more to cover, but
Right now we're on Rock Hill.
between
It's the rocks.
you can tell. Between timing, we don't have all day, and then I can't go very far because I got a sprained ankle. We're kind of confined to where we can go.
And length of the video, if we took you everywhere, it would be an hour long.
Valid point. Yeah, we've got way steep down there, way high up there. We could take you, so maybe some other time. But this is kind of how we grew up, just wandering around. The rule was we had to be within earshot,
Which was anywhere on
which
the-
was anywhere on
Mom's
the property.
"Yoo-hoo."
Yeah, if you could hear it and come running. She just sometimes yoo-hooed 5 or 6 times by the time we made it back to the trailer.
And it's a loud yoo-hoo. Country moms have a loud yoo-hoo.
But growing up, I can't even imagine how old was I when we moved? I think I was 16 maybe, 15 or 16 when we moved. So I spent the majority of my childhood out here, or similar places. Excuse me.
Could have been a trailer park, which is another story of its own.
Yeah, we'll go on that later. Or a construction job site.
That was fun.
That one was fun. That was even more roaming than this. We could literally take off and be gone all Saturday because
Right, so it was-
back of our property
it
was,
was public land.
or back of the construction site was BLM land. So we could just go
Yeah.
and be back by dark.
Whereas here we have property stakes, so.
We got to stay on our land.
Right.
Okay. So maybe tell us in the comments if you grew up in the city what kind of stuff you did, and I know we've got some folks, friends and relatives that grew up in the city, and they made it out and they played with their neighbors, and they had the kind of the traditional childhood that you would in town. But I know a lot of the folks that I meet now pretty much spent their childhood playing video games, on the computer, inside all the time, never made it out. They're afraid of dirt. You know?
Yeah.
So, I guess it's more, I hope this doesn't sound bragging, but we're really glad we grew up out here. You learn some things growing up out here that you do not learn in town.
Yeah.
Rattlesnakes, for instance, will hibernate in rats' nests.
Pack rat.
What else do we have out here? Mormon crickets!
Oh.
If you do not know what a Mormon cricket is, I would advise you.
They're almost as annoying as Mormons.
Okay, so if you're scared of spiders, I would recommend not looking this up, but if you can kind of handle spiders, look up Mormon crickets. They're about yay big or bigger, black
They have
or
a
red.
nasty bite.
They bite. They're not poisonous or anything, but man, they hurt.
And when they
Shake
come,
out your boots.
they come in the thousands.
Yes.
It is like you use a
Droves.
visible sheet of red and
The
black
ground is
coming,
moving.
coming towards you, and it's disgusting.
Like the old fashioned, like if you look back to like prior to the Dust Bowl, the swarms of locusts, these things are kind of like that, only they can't fly. They jump like about 18 inches maybe. Yeah.
Ooh.
What else do we have?
Well,
Plenty of
basic.
scorpions
we
out
have
here. Snakes. We had a giant lizard, a huge black lizard.
Kimono dragon.
That's what we called it.
It was.
It was.
But yeah.
no, it's just
But
a
it
big
was a
black
huge
lizard.
We had a pack of coyotes mixed with wolf.
Yeah, black coyotes.
So they
Those
were.
don't exist.
Oh, and mountain lions
Yeah.
don't stalk humans.
Yeah, speaking from experience, at least 2 different occasions,
More than
they
that.
do. Yeah. speaking of which, we're kind of on alert because we've seen a lot of fresh lion tracks
Very fresh,
today.
like
very,
probably
very
within
fresh.
the hour was
So-
the one I saw on top of.
Yeah, they
Coyote
saw one
Hill.
up on top, and then there was one right down by the gate that was this morning for sure. So
I'm not sure how I missed the coyote because I'm sure it passed by while we were here. I'm not sure how I missed seeing it.
well, they don't.
Right.
They blend in.
Yeah.
We've seen them once out here.
Oh yeah.
That one time we came out, was that the
The
one?
super blue blood moon. We came out
Super
here
blue
at 3 in the morning to go get pictures of it. It was gorgeous. It was amazing. But we stepped out of the car and we all looked at each other and was like, yeah, let's stay in the car.
And sure enough, we were just running the flashlight around, and there they were up on the hill, not too far away.
Yeah.
A little bit later.
A
So.
mama and her almost grown son.
Yeah.
Or daughter. We're not sure. We call it a son
Juvenile.
because it's that's the name we picked.
Danica and Ricky.
If you get that reference, congratulations.
Yeah.
So basically, the point of this was kind of give you an idea of where we grew up, what helped shape us into the people we are now. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't
And
know.
Surprisingly, none of us ever broke a bone out here, even though we would jump off stuff like this,
Which is really steep.
like 20,
Yeah.
30 feet.
There's a reason we're sitting on this side.
Right. The rocks are-
We are glad we grew up out here.
Oh yeah.
And you learn a lot of stuff. You're a little bit tougher.
Although I'm very sad that we don't still live here because, as I said, I would be old enough to run around on my own. I could only go around on rare occasions with Cassie. Most of the time it had to be with Caleb or Lydia.
Yeah.
Very sad.
I spent a lot of time running around by myself
But
out
yeah.
here.
This is the kind of place where the game of Dare was outlawed for very good reasons.
Yeah,
I dare
that
you
was
to go jump off that.
that game was not allowed. That was when Dad said we could not play.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't have a lot that we can contrast with city life because we never grew up in the city. We knew people who were kids and they lived in the city and we didn't really play with them very much because they were weird. But we would, yeah, it's just, the country is much better,
Way
in my
better.
opinion.
And this is getting way too populated for me, just so you know. But I must say, as a commuter college student, I'm glad we're in town, at least temporarily, because that would be a lot of gas.
Maybe we can convert all these country folks to city folks to country folks, and they all move out to the country. And
Then the country wouldn't be country anymore,
anymore.
would it? Chris will do.
We didn't really contrast city life with country life because we don't have a. Maybe someday we'll do a video where we do daily activities in the city, daily activities in the country, that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of hard
We should
when one of
probably
us isn't living out there. Though.
What?
That one will have to be when I'm finally graduated and on my own.
Or in the summer we come out here and
Yeah.
spend a couple days. Yeah, and hopefully not get attacked
Stuffed
by a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Like
what
last time.
happened last time.
It was fun.
That was not fun.
Yeah, that's the high.
Oh man, I think I could climb up it
That's really high
my
too.
foot wasn't so bad.
Isn't that point higher?
Yep.
Pretty steep. Be careful.
There are a couple of ledges here.
Yeah.
Like right here. This is where Lydia climbed up on our fun rock climbers segment. Yeah, I'm pretty scared. My legs are getting shaky, which is scary. That's a nice wall. It's very straight, right?
If I fall.
It'll be on video.
Yes, it will be.
We can do. This is the reason.
Always
Lydia's not in
test
these videos.
rocks before you step on them.
Yes, that's.
That's one of the
something
things
else
you learn.
out here.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm yelling into the camera.
It's very pretty. The lighting is horrible. Pointing this way. That's a very pretty picture. Yep.
Too many cat tracks for me to be out here at dark. Howsoever. Flashlight!
You just blinded the camera.
That was even the low setting. That's the bright side. Hello!
You blinded me. Your hat is too loose.
I know. It's because I accidentally put it
Can't
on.
see how bright it is.
See?
Well,
my
we're
beautiful
this late. I'm kind
country-
of tempted to stay for the sunset.
country jewelry. Well, thanks for tagging along with us as we wander around our childhood. Hope you join in next time.
Big time.
and I hope you enjoyed it. So, yeah,
This
that's it.
has been Sarcastic Living.
Your
Join us
go-to
in 2
source
weeks for the next
for something.
episode. See you guys. Okay, so we're doing a quick amendment. Cassie's getting some drive time. But, so we came up. The girls saw a real fresh track. Up on the property. She figured it was probably, well, when we pulled in, there were cat tracks that looked like they'd been made this morning going this way, right? Away from the property. Well, we just came out the gate and there were cat tracks going back. So we missed it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. You're telling me.
This is a very low budget YouTube channel in case you haven't noticed. We're rambling already. We're not even going to have time for story time. Okay. What?
We're good.
Okay. I'm staying here. What? Oh, you got a little bit of mud on your sock.
Plastic.
There we go. Whew. Yeah, well, it gets it drawn.
Thanks.
What was that?
Oh no, dirty rat. Don't throw that at me. You missed.